for the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hello and welcome to First Sports. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Right, on the show today, how can we not talk about the big face-off in New York between India and Pakistan? Pakistan choked in their T20 World Cup encounter once more. What is it about Pakistan and the 2-minute noodles syndrome? It cost them the game and could well cost them a place in the Super 8s of this tournament. I'll tell you more about that in just a little while. The world is scared of facing Indian chess players. Confident words of a young grandmaster Vaishali as she and her sibling Praggnanandhaa wrap up a successful campaign at the Norway chess tournament. Is India slowly becoming the power center for chess, and who are responsible for them to be world beaters? And Spain's Carlos Alcaraz does what Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic took years to do. At just 21, he's already won 3 Grand Slams and at 3 different surfaces. How did he do this? But first, a look at the headlines in Sports 360. We'll start with cricket and the T20 World Cup. Scotland beat Oman in the T20 World Cup Group B match. Batting first, Oman posted 150. In response, Scotland chased it down in 13 overs. They are unbeaten in the tournament so far and sit on top of the points table ahead of Australia and England. Over in Formula One, Red Bull's Max Verstappen won the Canadian Grand Prix in a thrilling race. The 25-year-old Dutchman started second behind George Russell of Mercedes. He managed to surge ahead, surpassing Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. This is Max Verstappen's 3rd straight Canadian Grand Prix victory. Over in tennis, Coco Gauff and Kateřina Siniková claimed the French Open women's doubles title. Gauff and Siniková beat Sara Errani and Jasmine Paolini 7-6, 6-3 in straight sets. The win was Sinikova's 8th women's Grand Slam doubles title and Gauff's first. Over in football, Messi's Argentina beat Ecuador 1-0 in a friendly. Argentina's Ángel Di María scored the only goal of the game. Argentina have one warm-up game, and that's against Guatemala before their Copa America campaign starts. The defending champions will face Canada in their opening game on the 21st of June. And in NBA, Boston Celtics beat Dallas Mavericks 105-98 in the second game of the NBA Finals. Drew Holiday scored 28 points and had 11 rebounds as Celtics took a 2-0 lead in the 7-match finals. Celtics will take on Mavericks on the 13th of June in the 3rd game. India-Pakistan in New York, and it followed a script that we've seen all too often. At the heart of this loss, Pakistan and its 2-minute noodles syndrome. Now, I'll speak about that in just a bit because there was enough drama both on and off the pitch. Off the pitch, rain, of course, threatened to disrupt ICC's seemingly best-laid plans and that of its stakeholders and sponsors. A lot was riding on this mega clash. The rain also meant a lot of fans who had spent thousands of dollars on tickets were out in the cold. No respite, no cover for most of these areas. Bollywood music blaring through speakers and the DJ console to quash any sound of rain and the patters. And if you thought you've seen all there is to see in an India-Pakistan matchup over the years, wait till you see this. There was an aircraft caught flying above the Nassau ground displaying a banner to release Imran Khan. Talk of strange occurrences, and yet it felt like a sign from above. Imran Khan, their World Cup winning captain, making an appearance in the most random manner. That didn't help because of Pakistan and the 2-minute noodles. So let's get into it. Firstly, it's a little difficult for me to quite put my finger on what actually trumped the day. The unpredictability of the pitch or the acumen and accuracy of the bowlers. Now, don't get me wrong. When you manage to defend 119, then you've definitely done something special, even if it is on a pretty helpful track. But let me introduce you to the kind of opposition who can make the ride easy for you. A team that can look unbeatable and in control of the game for a couple of minutes, but can then easily slip out of that same zone within Yes, you guessed it, couple of minutes. The first innings was that seesaw affair where Pakistan started off well, seeing off the dangerous openers, but then ran into the very brave, equally unpredictable and fearless Rishabh Pant. So to me, that was the differentiator, the almost clumsy maverick knock by Pant. It had hits, plenty of it, some beautiful shots at that, from the most uncomfortable of positions, and then some incredible misses too, some chances that went begging, a few hard to catch, I'll admit. But only a very unpredictable knock could have derailed Pakistan's equally unpredictable performance. Now think about it, Amir and Naseem breathing fire, pitch assisting them quite brilliantly, wickets tumbling at one end, and at the other a man who's not playing by the book, who just wants to get some runs and get India to a respectable total. 120 to win, and as a Pakistan cricketer and a Pakistan fan, you are wary, but there is some belief that they can somehow cross the line. You fancy your chances, you tell yourself Pakistan has got this, the sun is out. But then that packet of noodles bubbling away is somewhat giving you a nagging feeling. The way Rizwan batted, you felt, and with Pakistan at 57 for 1 at a point, there is a sense that maybe Pakistan was turning this tide. The cornered Tigers are getting ready to leap. That Imran Khan banner, oh, it is all coming together. It's written. And just like that, Jasprit Bumrah comes in for his second spell, uproots Rizwan to a delivery that doesn't quite bounce right, but also a shot that doesn't justify all the hard work Rizwan put in. Sweeping a bowler of the caliber of Bumrah on his very first delivery in his second spell, that 2-minute noodles is bubbling gloriously, getting ready to be served hot. And Gary Kirsten, Pakistan's new coach, summing up Pakistan's effort and hitting the nail on the head with his thoughts.
It's a disappointing loss, that's for sure. I knew 120 was not going to be an easy target. If India got only 120, it was always going to be not the easiest. But I think we had the game at 72 for 2 with 6 or 7 overs left. Maybe not so great decision-making. You have got the game on, run a ball, 8 wickets in hand, decision-making at that point. That's the game. That's international cricket for you. You make mistakes like that, you are going to pay. I thought we made some poor decisions at important phases of the game. We knew it was going to be a tough wicket to bat on. We managed the chase very well, but then just let it slip in the end.
He says they muffed up key moments, exactly what I'm saying here. One moment, they are controlling the game. The next, they are throwing it all away. In the end, falling short of just 6 runs. So remove that crazy, wacky knock of Rishabh Pant, and it was indeed Pakistan's match to lose. Ironically, it took an unpredictable knock to shut out an unpredictable side. A young Naseem Shah wiping back tears and being consoled by his senior in the side, Shaheen Shah Afridi, as they walked out is indeed a heartbreaking sight. But this is sport. There has to be a winner and one who ends up on the losing side. And something fans take the brunt of too. Fans who come back to keep supporting their side no matter the results of the past. Like this Pakistan supporter who reportedly sold his tractor to get a ticket, just to take a ticket for this game, only to see Pakistan crumble.
ट्रैक्टर बेच के आया हूँ, $3000 की टिकट ली है और बस ये बिल्कुल भी ज़हनों को मान में नहीं था कि मैच हारेंगे, स्पेशली जब स्कोर देखा था 120 का मुझे लगा कि बहुत ही अचीवेबल स्कोर है, लेकिन बस पाकिस्तान could do better कर सकता है, बस क्या आपको बोल सकते हैं, हम बहुत शर्मिंदा हैं.
But the worry is the pattern that is forming for Pakistan in a T20 World Cup campaign. We saw something similar against USA in their opening game. They had the match in their hands and they had their moments, yet nervousness and panic set in and they capitulated. Against India too, they didn't just capitalize on the important parts and choked hard towards the end. The road to qualification seems tight. They have to rely on other results as well now, and they will have to win their next 2 matches. That's against Ireland and Canada, to hope that they somehow make it, because the net run rate would also come into count. And of course, the noodles needs to stay off the burner for the rest of the tournament for any possible chance, even a sliver of a miracle turnaround for Pakistan. Now, Magnus Carlsen is continuing to stamp his authority on the world of chess. He's a beast, he's unstoppable. He just won the Norway chess tournament. keeping Hikaru Nakamura and India's Praggnanandhaa at bay. It seems like no one can quite halt the Norwegian. But that's not what a young Indian grandmaster thinks. R Vaishali may have only finished fourth over in the women's category, but the confidence in what she says here sends the whole world quite the message. Listen in.
I mean, it's great in the last few years what we are doing in chess, and I'm sure it just can only get better. And yeah, we are going right there. I must say, all over the world, people are very scared of us. Yeah, our Indian juniors are doing extremely well. We had Gukesh, winning the candidates, and Prag did amazingly well in Norway. He beat both world number 1 and 2 in classical games, which is too good, I would say. Yeah, no, I mean, not just these two, but also so many other youngsters are getting stronger and in so many other tournaments around the world. So yeah, it's nice to see.
Everyone the world over is scared of us, she says. And it's interesting for this to be uttered by someone like Vaishali, because just recently she became only the third Indian woman to become a grandmaster. She spoke about rubbing shoulders with some of the best in the business over at the Norway chess tournament, and how India's surge in the recent years is having its ripple effect the world over. In fact, the biggest encounter that's symbolic of India's rise to dominating chess is the one that will happen towards the end of the year between the candidates winner, India's D Gukesh, and the reigning world champion, China's Ding Liren. A battle for supremacy, and a battle that will decide who the power in chess truly rests with. And Ding Liren, in an exclusive chat here with me just last week on Firstpost, spoke about India gaining rapid strides in becoming the next power center for the sport.
India, the chess bomb in India, where there are so many young talents. There was a question, who will dominate chess world in 2050? And many people say it will be India, but now it shows this year might come earlier when India dominates chess world. And Gukesh had a phenomenal rise to the top. He rises also very quickly. He's very good at opening operation.
Now, why is India a strong contender for becoming the next powerhouse? Every youngster who is knocking down doors and challenging top stars in the sport has been honing a skill that is critical in toppling grandmasters the world over. Let's take a look at Praggnanandhaa, for instance, first up. The boy defeated Magnus Carlsen in round 3 of the Norway chess tournament, got the better of someone like Hikaru Nakamura in the Armageddon category, a category where time plays a crucial role, which has been Praggnanandha's strongest suit. He's quick to take decisions with the clock still hovering over his head, which means he can handle the pressure despite the clock ticking away. The skill set is crucial in tournaments such as this, or rapid or blitz. At 18, Praggnanandhaa is one of the brightest prospects. Just last year, he finished runners-up at the FIDE World Cup. And even though candidates did not go his way, the mental fortitude he carries is highly commendable for someone his age, making him a very tough opponent. Next up, D Gukesh, another sensation. His recent triumph at the candidates tournament has impressed all. Gukesh, over the years, has shown how well he can excel in slowly drawing out his opponents, wearing them down, and creating wins from anywhere. The biggest reason why he prospers in a format like classical chess, where it requires players to make calculative decisions.
Struck me how good he is at calculation, and I think that's like mainly what he does, really, that he calculates extremely well. Both, he calculates very quickly, he calculates precisely, and he's undogmatic in the way he calculates. So he will find ideas that other may not. He will have, I don't know if you can call it the intuition, but he will go further in lines that others will not.
Then there is Arjun Erigesi. He's the highest-ranked Indian in live ratings at this point, behind Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, and Fabiano Caruana. Unlike Praggnanandhaa and Gukesh, he doesn't come from the chess capital of India, which is Chennai in southern India. The boy hails from Warangal, the first grandmaster from Telangana. In fact, Arjun's biggest strength is his relentless pursuit. Many observers who've seen the new Indian crop come out and play say that Arjun may not have the gameplay that Gukesh or Praggnanandhaa possess, but he has the ability of surviving tough positions, the tenacity to try and wriggle out of any position. Again, absolutely key to be in the game when it comes to pursuit of dominance. And then, of course, there's Vidit Gujarati, a seasoned campaigner who may have had a bit of a lull at this point, but an Asian Games silver medalist nevertheless. Vidit's presence is just as important. Over in the women's, you've got someone like Vaishali herself, whom we just spoke to, Koneru Humpy, our front runners. Humpy may have finished 5th at the Norway chess tournament, but again, this veteran has finished 2nd at the candidates tournament that just concluded some time back. She's spent just 1 month outside of the top 5 since 2005. That's incredible. India sitting on the cusp of something outstanding here. And that shows there's not just one bright spark, quite many. And can you believe I've spent a few minutes here speaking of the talents in Indian chess without having to resort to Vishwanathan Anand's name. That shows how far the sport has advanced in the country, and each and every one of these chess prodigies and seniors responsible in making India the center point for chess once more. All right, Swiss legend Roger Federer did not manage to do this all of 5 years after his first Grand Slam win. Spanish former world #1 Rafael Nadal couldn't do this till some years after his first slam, though he probably comes closest to overcoming this obstacle. He in fact set the record. Serb great Novak Djokovic took 8 years to do this, and of course then got consistent like no other. Carlos Alcaraz in less than 2 years has done what all these legends took time to do. All of just 21, he's done the unthinkable by pocketing the French Open over the weekend in a grueling 5-set encounter against Alexander Zverev. As of now, he's won 3 Grand Slams across 3 different surfaces: grass, clay, and hard courts. Alcaraz has also become the youngest to win all these Grand Slams on all 3 surfaces. So how did a player who was referred to only as someone good on clay manage to do this and tame 3 different slams? Is he better than the big 3? Here's a report.
Another Spaniard, maybe a hard-court player at best, will never succeed on grass. Just aggressive on clay? Will he ever fill the shoes of Rafael Nadal? These are some of the criticisms Alcaraz faced when he started his career. The French Open champion has come a long way from that. In fact, he ruled out the clay-only tag when he won Wimbledon last year. And now with the French Open in his cabinet, he has become the youngest to win the Grand Slam on all 3 surfaces: grass, hard court and clay, a record previously held by Nadal when he achieved the feat at the age of 22. Nadal, of course, took no time in congratulating Alcaraz, his social media update highlighting the greatness of this achievement. With this, Alcaraz has aced his game across 3 different surfaces. And it's not just his approach that makes him a difficult competitor to get past, it's his training too that makes him a champion. And that training does not just involve him and his regimen alone. A key part of Alcaraz's process of bettering himself across surfaces is studying his opponents. Alcaraz has studied players who have had great track records on a particular surface. Like for his preparation for Wimbledon, Alcaraz usually watches the video of Andy Murray, who won the Wimbledon title in 2013 and 2016. Someone who has grown up on these courts. And of course, how can Federer be left behind? Someone who won the title 8 times there. With clay, any guesses? Yep, he studied the games of Rafael Nadal. And for hard courts, it's Novak Djokovic he goes to. After observing their videos, Alcaraz has realized every surface needs a different approach. So what has he done differently after observing the games of the greats, the idols he practically grew up watching? He is now using a shorter and more compact swing, and he's sliding a lot more on clay, which is a slower surface. This helps him generate pace on grass. We saw that during the Wimbledon triumph last year. And for hard courts which are quicker, Alcaraz trusts his own game plan. He sticks to the basic and doesn't tinker much. On the other hand, for clay surfaces, Alcaraz works on his stamina. So there's a lot of work off the courts to develop his strength and endurance. The surface requires more movements across the court, and of course sharpening the topspin, a great tool to make him succeed here, like his predecessor Nadal. The approach, the astute gameplay, and how he adapts to different surfaces makes him an astounding all-round player, with skills that make him a monster across any tournament.
I got to say this, just for the record, Carlos Alcaraz is my favorite player to watch. He's the most skilled young man I've ever seen playing at this age. He's better than Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic at 21 for me. Alcaraz is a unique individual that we need around in the sport for a long time. You gotta love what he brings to the sport.
Djokovic and Federer were in their late 20s when they won on all three surfaces. At 21, Alcaraz is already just an Australian Open victory away from completing a career slams. So history beckons. And this year, if Alcaraz manages to stay injury-free and improves on his consistency, we may be seeing the new era burst on the tennis circuit, and how.
Time for last serve. The newly crowned French Open women's champion, Iga Świątek, stepped out in Paris along with her trophy. The Pole looked just as comfortable posing for pictures as she is unleashing a deadly forehand winner on court. Take a look. Świątek showing her flex both on and off the court, but that does it here on Firstpost. I'll see you again tomorrow with more updates and perspectives from the world of sports. Till then, take care. A first-of-a-kind sports show that's played on a different turf. A first-of-a-kind sports show that will always come up with a winner. Are you looking for perspectives that go beyond the scoreline? Hi, I'm Rupha Ramani, and catch a 360-degree view of the sporting world with me here on Firstpost in our special Firstpost.